Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Tim Brooks with Worldwide Technology, and we're partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT's CDIQ program, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mike Meriton, co-founder and COO of the EDM Council, and John Bottega, president of the EDM Council. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Tim.
For the user, the company that is going to move data or workloads to cloud, what are some of the key challenges that they face when it comes to cloud data management? In other words, what you're doing is providing a framework, it appears, that help, give them a target, a goal, or a means of resolving some of their issues. Is that a good way to put it, or?
Yeah, so let me answer by stepping back for a second. And if you think about how data management has evolved over the past decade and a half, we've really come up the curve on our capability of really professionally managing the asset of information. But we are living in a world of 40-year-old, infrastructure, legacy environments, right? So it's fair to say that all of us have built environments that maybe are not the most efficient, somewhat duplicative, and et cetera, challenges that exist. As you move to cloud, the last thing you want to do is just do lift and drop. You want to make sure that this new environment, greenfield, if you will, is built with all of those best practice capabilities on the onset.
Right. So
the challenges firms face is, a typical example could be I have multiple databases of customer information where, John Bottega exists in each of them. And it may not be consistent. So how do we get out of that type of inconsistency or data that's not unique in these places? So first step was, as you build cloud, do it the right way. Let's look at the data, the content. Let's bring it into the cloud properly. As you move this data in, all of the things that you need to ensure that you're protecting that data from a sensitivity perspective, privacy, et cetera, should be adhered to. And that's what CDMC talks about. What about John Bottega's information? Is his credit card number? Is that properly tagged and protected? So those are the kind of things that, the way I like to explain is there's a toll gate. Before you're allowed in, you have to, be well-dressed and, well-groomed kind of thing. And that's really what CDMC is going to provide as firms move their information into cloud. Let's do it in an efficient and a way that adheres to best practices in industry.
So, John, are these challenges industry specific, or is this broader? Is it across all industries?
It's really all industries. Absolutely, there are nuances from industry to industry. Retail is going to worry about customer data, and pharmaceuticals will worry about medicinal and medical data. But if you take those designations apart, it's still data. So how do you ensure that the data, as it's being moved and curated and protected, is being done in the proper manner? The nuances will play themselves out with the SMEs in those spaces, but CDMC seeks to maybe be a level above to say, okay, no matter the data, how do you manage it? How do you prepare it? How do you protect it?
Right. So Mike had mentioned earlier some of the early companies that helped to create CDMC and the framework. And there was a lot of financial services companies that were mentioned, and I understand regulatory requirements as well as some other industry specific. Are there any healthcare companies in the healthcare ecosystem that have been involved with CDMC framework?
So the initial onset of the work was done primarily with the financial institutions, with the technology companies. So Mike mentioned, of course, the cloud providers, but we also had Snowflake and Informatica and these other firms, Calibra, are all part of the activity. We also had fantastic contribution from the consultancies, the KPMG, EY, PwC, et cetera, large and small, in fact, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the facilitators of these assessments, right, from an audit perspective. It was always the intention that this framework would be ubiquitous to industry. So in the early onset, it was more of the financial companies, because like you said, it's a regulated industry. They have the SMEs to participate. But tangential to this, Tim, been conversations with all different industry. Everybody has the same challenge. And we see this being adopted across all verticals.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and Tim, one of the issues is that when we built the framework, we included chief privacy officers, also people with legal backgrounds that were able to interpret GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe, CCCPA in California. So things like whether it's bank account data, transactions at a bank, or personal health information, or PHI, sensitive data must be protected no matter what industry. And in fact, now that most countries and most jurisdictions are building and putting out stronger and stronger data protection regulation, these requirements and these controls are operable across all forms of sensitive data. Hence, obviously, now the opportunity to serve any industry.
It's fabulous to learn about this. It is, I can see the perfect fit. And I think that the clouds have got to be so happy that when you showed up with all of these customers who are competitors working as collaborators to help set standards. So it's helpful for the industry. It's helpful for the data journey that we're all on. And I appreciate your time today. I've been joined today by Mike Meriton and John Bottega of the EDM Council. On behalf of CDO Magazine, thank you both and good luck to both of you.
Thank you very much.